In this video, we're looking at the first part of the Unit 1 review. This starts on page 44 of your textbook. And hopefully you have already tried this review and you are here to check your answers. I'm not going to draw the graphic organizers on these unless we need to. You certainly can. If you find that helpful and you want to turn off the video and draw out your graphic, that's fine. I encourage you to do that. But just for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that on all of these. Okay, on page 44, we have a 6-paragraph article about coyotes. Now, I suspect that this will be nonfiction, that it'll be giving me facts about the coyotes. Just looking at the way this is structured, I believe that it is going to be an informational text. Coyotes are a uniquely American animal. Like wolves and dogs, they belong to the canid family. They evolved about 5.3 million years ago. Unlike other canids, coyotes stayed in North America. They did not migrate over the land bridges that once connected North America to Asia and Europe. Despite efforts to get rid of coyotes, these animals have managed to elude their pursuers. The word coyote or coyote is from the Aztecs. Many Native American myths are about the coyote. It plays tricks on other animals. The trickster coyote teaches about human nature and how to treat others. Lewis and Clark were the first white men to document coyotes. This was in 1804. Coyotes only lived west of the Mississippi River. At first, Lewis and Clark thought coyotes were foxes. Then they believed coyotes were a type of wolf. They called coyotes prairie wolves. In 1931, Congress passed a bill. It allowed coyotes to be killed. Although there were no evidence, Although there was no evidence, many people believed that coyotes ate deer, sheep, and cattle. Ranchers and farmers especially wanted to get rid of coyotes. Later, a study found that coyotes eat rabbits, mice, fruit, and vegetables, and not large animals. Still, between 1947 and 1956, over 6 million coyotes were killed in the American West. Despite efforts to decrease their population, coyotes have managed to thrive. In fact, coyote populations have spread. Coyotes now live east of the Mississippi River. They even live in some of our largest cities. One reason for this is fission-fusion adaptation. Coyotes can live in packs, in a pair, or on their own. Faced with danger, a coyote pack can break up into pairs and singles. Also, when their population goes down, the size of a coyote's litter goes up. The fewer coyotes there are, the more pups they will have. An average litter is 5 to 6 pups. When the number of coyotes drops, litters rise to 12 to 16 pups. Coyotes use their howls and yips to check on their numbers. If their calls are not returned by other packs, their bodies know to produce more pups. Coyotes that live in cities live longer than coyotes in the wild. Some live more than 10 years longer. Today's myths about coyotes say they have rabies or eat trash. Neither is true. In fact, coyotes help us by eating rodents, such as mice and rats. Very informational. This one was packed full of facts and descriptions and statistics, lots and lots of good information. So let's try the questions. Read the sentence. Despite efforts to decrease their population, coyotes have managed to thrive. Now let's think about this just a minute. Decrease means to lower. Despite efforts, so this is saying the opposite of lower is what? Thrive. So I can predict that thrive means grow. Which of these phrases means the same as thrive? To be caught, to stay the same, to decrease and weaken, or to increase and prosper. I am looking for the one that says increase. Thrive means to grow and prosper, or to grow and do well is another way of saying that. Number 2 is over here. That's a little unusual. Usually it's below. Read the sentence. They did not migrate over the land bridges that once connected North America to Asia and Europe. They did not migrate over land bridges. Well, what do you do over a bridge? You cross it. And this is saying they did not cross over the land bridges. Which word means the opposite of migrate? Okay, if migrate means to cross or move, we want the opposite of that, the antonym of cross or move. If you do not cross or move, you stay. The opposite of migrate is stay. Be careful with those. They may not bother you, but those drove me crazy. You're not looking for a synonym, you're looking for the antonym of migrate. Number 3. What causes coyotes to have more pups in a litter? Remember, it talked about their litters can increase to 12 to 16 pups. That's a lot of pups in one birth. So what causes that? Their population decreases. Their population increases. They live in cities or they live in the wild. I'm going to look back at the passage just to be sure. I think I know the answer. And quickly scanning, I'm looking for the word population, and there it is. So this is what's talking about the change in population. Furthermore, here we go. This is what I was suspecting. When their population goes down, the size of a coyote's litter goes up. And that's what I believed the answer to be, just from my memory. But always check to be sure if you're taking a test. It's when the population goes down. And that is the same as when it decreases. I'm not sure what this is. I think I have cut out part of the question. That the little guy's a loner there. Let me look back at the review itself and see what I've done before I get us confused. Oh no, I'm sorry. Okay, this, and I'm just going to move mine if that's okay. Oops, That's not okay. Sorry. This D goes with, I'm still in move mode. Okay, that really messes with me. This D goes down here. They just ran out of space, it looks like. But that is extremely confusing to me. I guess the way I have the page laid out is a little different. But we're down here at number 4. What is the main idea of the 5th paragraph? Now, before I even read my choices, because it directs me to the 5th paragraph, I'm going to go ahead and look back here. And I believe I see it right here. Despite efforts to decrease their population, coyotes have managed to thrive. So let's see if we can find an answer choice that relates to that. Coyotes can have 16 pups in a litter. That is definitely a true statement, but it is not the main idea of paragraph 5. Coyotes and humans have some things in common. That has nothing to do with this particular passage, this particular question. Coyotes continue to survive because they can adapt to dangerous situations. I like this one because of this phrase, continue to survive. That means the same thing as the word in my main idea, so I suspect it's C. D says coyotes call to others when they travel by themselves or in pairs. That is a true statement, but it is not my main idea statement. The passage, paragraph 5, was about them continuing to thrive. So I'm going to choose C for 4A. And then 4B, which sentence from the passage best supports the answer to part A? So in other words, which of these sentences gives support to this sentence? Coyotes now live east of the Mississippi River. They even live in some of our largest cities. Faced with danger, a coyote pack can break up into pairs and singles. An average litter is 5 to 6 pups. Now, all of these are true, and you may be wondering about these marks around these sentences. This tells me that they were directly taken from the story. These are quotation marks, which means that this is actually text that appeared in the passage. So all of these are true. All of them came from the passage. But which one supports this yellow sentence? That coyotes continue to survive because they can adapt to dangerous situations. The one that I'm leaning toward is C, because this is telling me an example of how they adapt. If they're in trouble, they split up. Instead of staying in a pack where they're a bigger target, they are able to break up into 2 or 1 unit, 1 per unit, and they're able to survive that way. So I believe the answer is C. This was not an easy review section. This one, the passage was long. It had some tough words in it, and the questions were worded in a way that I would not call them easy by any means. I am going to stop this video so that I can break this long video up. And I'll see you in the next one, and we will look at the passage that is on page 45.